Welcome, everybody, to our Getting Started with AI webinar today. Let me just tell you a bit about ourselves. Ernest and I are from the Digital Futures Institute, or DFI. That's a department within Teachers College, which is part of Columbia University. Teachers College, or TC, is a graduate school of education, health, and psychology. I'm Debbie Beaudry, and I'm the Director of Academic Technology. Ernest?
Hi, I'm Ernest Chen. I'm the Senior Educational Technologist.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about our agenda. What will we be talking about today? First, what is artificial intelligence? We'll give you a few demonstrations. We'll talk about some of the potential benefits and challenges, and then looking beyond, looking at some AI tools that are available beyond text and images. So before we start, I also want to let you know that any of the images that you see in this presentation were created with generative AI. When we do that, we always put underneath that the image was created by the tool and then the prompt that we used. And we'll talk about the prompts shortly. A bit of a disclaimer, the tools that we're going to show you have not been through the TC review process. For tools that TC adopts and uses in our work, go through a process with our IT department where they check for security, accessibility, privacy. And these tools have not, most of them, because they're all very new, and also because they don't offer the types of contracts that TC needs to be able to offer the protection that we need for our users. The facilitators today, Ernest and I, are AI enthusiasts and users. We are not AI engineers, so we're presenting this from our perspective of what we've seen working with faculty, students, and staff with AI. So let's start from the beginning. What is artificial intelligence, or AI? AI makes predictions based on data about you, the AI that you've been using now probably for a while, and that AI has been using you. But the types of things that use AI now are predictive text. So when you do text messaging and it gives you a suggestion for what the next word should be, when you're typing an email, and it also gives you suggestions for the rest of the sentence. Or you're using Google Maps where it remembers where you were before. That's all using AI. Also, any sites that use for recommendations, like shopping sites. When you go search for something, a new pair of shoes, then you'll see those types of recommendations coming up on a lot of other sites that you might visit. Streaming services, if you use Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of those streaming services, they look at what you've already watched or purchased, and then they predict what you might want to watch next. Also, social media, tons of AI with that. They're looking at what you read, what you engage with, what you like, and then they're sending you more of that type of information. So what is this new type of AI? Why all the fuss? And actually, generative AI has been around for a while, but it's just become publicly available a little over a year ago with ChatGPT. So AI that's generative creates something new based on your prompt that you enter and the AI's training data. So there's two pieces to that we'll talk about: the prompt that you enter and the training data. So first, let's talk about some AI generative text tools. This is the most common use of AI that's out there, ChatGPT, which most people have heard of, and I'll give you a demonstration of that in a minute. That is owned by the company called OpenAI. Microsoft was a heavy investor in ChatGPT, but they don't own ChatGPT. Right now, the latest version of ChatGPT, GPT-4o, is free for now. They recently released it. And my guess is, based off of previous experience with these types of tools, is that soon they'll make it also paid. Here's a website. So when we share these slides with you, you'll be able to see those, get to those websites. Bing AI is a Microsoft product. It is free, and it's what we call powered by GPT-4. So It's underneath the Bing when it's doing searches and giving you writing text for you. It's actually ChatGPT that you're using, but Microsoft has put some guardrails on it. So it's different than what if you're just using ChatGPT on its own. Also, Bing AI includes responses that are found on the internet, and it can cite some references. Gemini is a different category. So this is a completely different tool that does not use ChatGPT. Gemini was created by Google, and Google built their own model, and these are called large language models, which we'll talk about in a sec. Their responses include current information on the internet, but you do need an approved Google account. At this time, Teachers College does not have Gemini turned on for our TC accounts, but we will probably be piloting it this summer and this fall. Claude is another one that's popular. It's owned by a company called Anthropic. They have free and paid versions, but it does not have access to current information on the internet. And you can access it at claude.ai. So let me take you on a tour so that we can see what ChatGPT looks like. So I logged into my ChatGPT account. Here are things that I've asked it in the past, but right here in the message box at the bottom, this is where I type what I want it to create or answer a question for me. So let's say something like, how do electric cars work? And I tap enter, and then very quickly, it will give me information about how electric cars work. And it can be very extensive in what it writes. Now, you might not see the whole of this, but when it's finished, we can go back and we can ask it to create a more concise version of the answer, or to focus more on the type of energy that it uses. So this is ChatGPT, and as you can see, it's very, very quick. All right, let's go back to our slides. Oh, there we go. So you might ask, how do they do this? And you saw that we entered the prompt. I entered the prompt as you would speak. You don't need to use any coding or anything like that. You're just using natural language, the way you would talk to a person. And these are called large language models, or LLMs. So we have a 2-minute video here that I'm going to play for you. There we go.
These AI systems are called large language models, or LLMs. You might be wondering how an LLM can understand and respond in such a human-like way. Let's look at how LLMs are built. It all starts with the training data. Developers feed the model a massive database of information scraped from all over the internet, everything from Wikipedia to social media posts to published research to transcripts from podcasts and YouTube videos. It's like a gigantic knowledge base for the AI to learn from. During the training process, the model doesn't just memorize all that data. It actually learns patterns of how humans write and communicate, things like common word pairings and sentence structures. When you give the LLM a prompt, it doesn't just look up a pre-written response. It uses those learned patterns to generate a brand new, relevant response from scratch. Based on its training, it predicts a response. The output tends to sound fluid and natural. It's not rigidly scripted, but it does gravitate toward commonly used words and phrases. When prompted for more creative versions of a response, the model can adjust its response based on the training process. It doesn't follow strict rules. Instead, it uses probability to give you a more unique response.
Okay, so we saw that it's trained on data on the internet, and that it uses a bit of probability in there. So we'll take a look at some of those issues that we might have to think about when using any of these AI generative tools. So first, if it's using all the information on the internet, it's like, is it using all the information? But it's publicly available data. When I asked ChatGPT in 2023, what was the training data that was used, they say it was not publicly disclosed, the specific data that they used, or how long the training data was used for. So that is an issue. But let's talk about some benefits first, and then we'll look at the challenges. So potential benefits with these types of tools. They assist with writing. We've seen people, and I've used it myself to help generate ideas. You can ask it to generate 10 ideas for a topic that you want to write about. It can write from scratch for you. You can give it a topic and ask it to write a blog post about electric cars or whatever it is that you want to write about. Or it can be a little less invasive, and you can just upload your writing and ask it to make suggestions for your writing. Make it clearer, more concise, more casual, more professional. We also see students using it as a tutor. So you can upload a PDF to the generative AI and it will summarize the article. It can explain complex concepts to you. And students sometimes use it for quiz practice. They type in a topic and they ask the AI to quiz them on it. We see teachers, educators using it to create lesson plans. It can be used for text to speech and speech to text. And when it's used in business, businesses purport that it can shift your work from lower to higher level tasks. So with all of these benefits, we also have to take a look at the concerns or issues that there might be with it. So, for example, we said that the information that it gets is from the internet, and it's using predictions and a model algorithms to create the response. So sometimes the information is inaccurate, what it gives you for a response. It could be completely wrong. And what they call that in the industry is a hallucination. So if it gives you wrong information, that's just a hallucination. It also can perpetuate biases. So if it's trained on information on the internet, we all know whatever's on the internet publicly is not all accurate. It can be biased. So when it's using that from getting its information or learning from that, then those biases can appear in its responses. It can also be unpredictable because it's using probability. When you type in a question or a prompt, you don't always get the same answer. We also have to think about ethical issues of the sources of the training data. So even though the information is publicly available on the internet, did they get permission from the original creators to use that in their training data? Do they give credit to the original writers or authors? Do they compensate the folks that they use their information for to train the models? In most cases, the answer is no to all of this. So there are many lawsuits that are pending that, for example, the New York Times is suing OpenAI for using their content without their permission, credit, or compensation. You also have to think about the ownership of the product's output. If it writes an essay for you, who really wrote the essay? Where can you say it came from? And also the exploitation of resources. So a couple things to think about is these large language models need a ton of processing power. So large server farms that are powering these that need a lot of electricity. They use a lot of water to cool them as well. And then also human labor. What is when they're trained, the models are trained, as you know, there's a lot of information on the internet that can be violent or obscene. And when these models were originally created, they had people in other countries, very low paid workers that had to look at all of this information and start labeling, this is violent, this is obscene, this is inappropriate. So they were exposed to a lot of really terrible information that's on the internet, and then they had to label it, and they were paid very low wages. So AI image generators, So this is where we looked at using ChatGPT to create text. You can also use ChatGPT to create images. There's also Bing AI you can create images with. Midjourney is another product. This is very popular with gamers. Adobe Firefly, which Ernest will demonstrate for us next, and Gemini are a couple of tools that can generate images for you. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Ernest, do you want to take it from here?
Yep. Let me share my screen with you guys. Okay. Let me talk about Adobe Firefly a little bit. First of all, Adobe Firefly is a suite of creative AI tools developed by Adobe. They are one of the most creative software company behind popular graphic applications such as Photoshop and Illustrator. Compared to other AI image generator, I think these tools is best for someone who's a little bit more familiar with interface of Adobe product. There are several things I would like to mention about Adobe Firefi. First, Adobe Firefi is specific trained on the data that is licensed for this purpose. Here's the breakdown of the data source they get. First, they get the image from licensed content. This includes image and other assets from Adobe Stock is the service that provides royalty-free creative content. The second source is open license content. This refers to the content that the creator has released with a license that allows its use by others. The third source is public domain content that includes work those copyright has expired and allow free for anyone to use. Let me talk a little bit about some of the best features of Adobe Firefly. First, they have a text-to-image features. It creates image from description and guiding style and structure with reference image. The second feature is generative fill and expand. They add and remove object and expand image with matching content. The third features I would like to mention is the text effect. It provides awesome text style and colors. So how to access these tools? Basically, there are two ways to use these tools. First is inside the Adobe Creative Suite. The second one is as a web app. If you go to the web app, it's so simple. Just go to your browser and open the link to Adobe Firefly. And then you use your personal account, for example, like Google or any of your account to sign in to create an Adobe account first. Then there's two plan to use it. They have a free version and a pay version. For the free one, you will have 25 credit per month. That means you will have 25 click each month. And then if you feel 25 click is not enough, then and just sign up for the premium plan, $5. Okay, let me show you the website. Okay, here's the Firefly website. If you go to website, you see they have some features like text to image and generative fill and generative expand. Those are some of the features about Firefly. Okay, it's so simple to use. Just go here to enter your prompt. My prompt is elephant with a cap riding a bicycle times where. Hey, here we go. Oh. All right, it usually will take like 10 to 20 seconds to generate the image. All right, here's the image you get. And then let me talk about the interface of Firefly. On the left-hand side, you see there's many options to edit the image. For example, you can choose the image source. Here is you can change the aspect ratio of the image. Then here, you can even input your own reference and change the style of the image. And then here, also like there are many different options below to change the style. Like you see here, the effect, yeah, different kind of effect, and change the color and tone and lighting as well, and even camera angle. So that's about it. Please try and have fun with these two. That's about it.
Thanks, Ernest. Okay, let me share my screen so we can get back. Alrighty. So I want to talk about some other generative AI tools. So this is the webinar is called Basics and Beyond. So what we just showed you, the text generators, the image generators, those are now considered basic AI functions. But the beyond part is now they're doing lots of other things with them. So for example, Runway is a product where you type in text, you just type in a sentence, and it will create a short video for you of whatever you typed in. Descript is another product that does what we call voice cloning. So what you do is you record yourself for 30 seconds, and then it creates a clone for you. And then if you want your clone to say anything else, you just type in all the information and it will read it to you in your cloned voice. Synthesia allows you to create a digital avatar. So what you do is you can use your webcam and you can record yourself speaking for 3 minutes, and then you give it a little bit of time, usually a couple hours, and it creates a video avatar of you. So from that point forward, again, you can just type in text and your avatar will read the text as if you had originally recorded that. Hey Jen is another one of these that creates a video avatar. And let's take a look at some examples. All right, so this is text to image, text to video example with Runway. So the prompt that we use was create a video of 2-year-olds playing in a classroom. So we didn't upload any images. The only thing we did was type in that text, and this is what it created. So it's a little bit creepy, but but that's what it can create in a relatively short time. Let's look at the other feature that we talked about. The other type of AI tool is creating a voice clone. So what I did was I used a script. I recorded myself speaking, and then I waited for the script to create my voice, and then I had the clone read. So sorry, let me stop sharing, and then I need to share again to make sure that I'm sharing. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm sharing the sound because I want to show you an example. I'll let you listen to an example of this. So this is a new script that I wrote, and I have the speaker as Debbie, the Debbie clone, which is me. And then I just click play and you can hear it.
Generative AI presents both opportunities and challenges for grad students. First, the benefits. You might use these tools to save time writing. You probably know that AI.
So it's not exactly my voice, but you can see that it is getting there in terms of being able to mimic how somebody would speak. All right, let me go to the next slide. All right. Sorry. There we go. All right. Here, so the other type of tool is to create a video avatar. So for this sample that I'm going to show you, I recorded myself with Synthesia with my webcam, and then it created my avatar for me, and then I created a presentation, and my avatar reads the script and also it shows me in video with my voice matching the words. So let me share with you this example.
In this video, I'll share my journey creating an AI video avatar using Synthesia. Let's
So this right here is my avatar. I never recorded myself saying that. That's just the text that I typed in.
dive into how this tool brought my digital twin.
So
The
let me
process
just
was
jump
signing
ahead
up for the
so you
paid
can
start to create a custom
see.
AI avatar. Next,
Sorry.
I went to the TC studio to record my
So you can see that the voice doesn't match mine. It was, we paid, I think that one was about $250 to be able to create that. And if I wanted it to clone my voice as well, I would have had to pay another $1,000. So we were fine with what it created for a voice clone. We also are seeing AI being built into existing products. So whether you want to use AI or not, it's kind of creeping into mainstream products. So for example, Microsoft Copilot, they have the AI assistant for the Microsoft Office products. So for Google Docs or spreadsheets, it will use the AI to help you write, to help you do an analysis. Padlet is a tool that we use here at TC. It's available to all students, staff, and faculty, and it's like Post-it notes that you can put, digital Post-it notes. And with that, you can use AI to create an image for your Padlet. And then Gemini for Google Workspace is an AI assistant for the Google Suite. So it actually looks at all the data that you have in Google. For example, you can have it look at your emails and it can prompt and write an email for you in response to another email. It can help you write in Google Docs. And again, it can do some analysis for you in Google Sheets. So we've given you a lot of information and you might be wondering, where do you begin? So there are some free tools that I think are a good starter place, so you don't have to invest anything. ChatGPT 4.0 and Adobe Firefly that Ernest demonstrated for you. But just remember that a lot of times, especially with these free models, is they're using the data that you use, that you entered to train the models. So do not input any confidential information or anything that you want to be added to the training model. And also be aware of the limitations of these AI tools. We talked about that they're sometimes inaccurate, biased, so you need to be aware of all of that. So just some upcoming DFI events. Next week, Ernest and I are doing a more in-depth look at image generators with artificial intelligence, and our fall events will be posted soon. So thank you everybody for attending.